Thank you for joining us, Mr. Angus.
Thank you.
Now, what are you asking the government to do?
The NDP motion of opposition that we brought forward for debate is actually fairly straightforward. I'm sort of scratching my head that we're getting resistance. There was a historic Human Rights Tribunal ruling in January that said Canada was guilty of systemic racist discrimination against First Nation children. The government said they wouldn't appeal it. We had since then 2 compliance orders by the tribunal. We've had the government refuse efforts of mediation by the tribunal. Cindy Blackstock, Perry Bellegarde, Chief of the Assembly of First Nations, has asked for mediation. So I guess out of frustration, we're bringing it to the House to say if the government won't act, it comes to Parliament to say we need to address the fact that the government of Canada cannot see itself as above the law of the land when it comes to this racist discrimination against children.
Okay, well, I understand you mentioned this morning that perhaps the Prime Minister is not getting the best advice on this issue. Why do you think that?
Well, I have enormous respect for Carolyn Bennett, the Indigenous Affairs Minister. We've worked very well together on the file. I know where her heart is. I know that she sees the fundamental problems in the system. So to see a government that is not in compliance with the Human Rights Tribunal, that is still fighting children in court, it leaves me wondering. I am concerned that the Prime Minister decided to, appoint as his chief advisor in the Privy Council, Michael Wernick. Now, Michael Wernick was involved in Indigenous affairs during the long legal battle against Cindy Blackstock. That was a department that had a brass knuckles approach to issues of justice in terms of they'd rather fight in court than settle. So I'm wondering how this government that made such good promises could go so wrong. And so I'm asking the Prime Minister, who's given him his advice on this?
All right, that's a good question. Now, the government did announce a review today. What are your thoughts on the review?
I guess I'm somewhat stunned, gobsmacked. I can't really believe that after 9 months of the Human Rights Tribunal, ignoring 2 compliance orders, that they come out today and say, hey, we got a great idea, we're going to do consultations. In fact, we're going to set up an online survey. Nobody else, no ordinary Canadian gets to decide whether they're going to consult about whether to comply with the law. We didn't see them deciding that they needed to send out consultations and online surveys when they rubber stamped the Site C dam. They did that immediately because it was a priority. So why is it that they can drag their feet, they can do consultations, they can ignore a Human Rights Tribunal ruling when it comes to the safety of children?
All right, sir. Well, we want to thank you for keeping an eye on this. We certainly will be continuing to keep an eye on it. Thank you for your time today.
Thank you so much.